And so it wasn't until a couple of years ago when I got real coaching. And that's the big difference between being a technician shop owner and being a business owner. Is you need to get out of the mindset that you can go fix every car and you're better than any technician. And you need to learn how to run a business and operate a business, especially by the numbers, if you want to make any money and keep your wife happy. So to anybody that wants to open up their own shop, get business coaching so you know how to run your business. You can fix the car, but if you don't know how to run a business and what the numbers mean, you're just going to struggle.
How's it going, everyone? Thanks for joining us here on the Lift Your Shop podcast. And today we have John Lonas out of Prescott Valley and with Autoworks Service and Repair. And so he'll be able to bring us a good amount of knowledge because his shop has grown quite a bit in the past few years, and he'll be sharing his story with us. So thank you so much, John, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. This will be fun.
Yeah, we're really excited to learn a lot about your background and kind of the, I'm sure, great tips that you're able to share with auto repair shop owners. And also, I know for people wondering, okay, why do you have a black eye, Kelsey? What's going on here? I played in a wiffle ball tournament. I hit in the face on Saturday. So nothing too exciting. Nothing too exciting. I literally just like,
a wiffle ball, huh?
Yeah, a wiffle ball hit me in the face. But yeah, all right. To go back on track, John, why don't you share us a little bit about kind of how you get started in this industry?
It goes back a long way, a long time ago.
You're not that old.
Well, I am. I'm more than a century or half a century, so I'm 52 now. My dad had a transmission shop when I was just a little kid, and he didn't have a rack. He just worked out of his garage, and it was kind of fun back in the day. We had the old Craftsman and Creepers with the metal wheels, and that cut your fingers off. Well, Dad couldn't fit underneath the car, so he put me on the car to pull the transmissions out for him. That's what he had, was a transmission shop. So transmission would come out, land on my chest, he'd grab my feet and pull me out, and I thought it was fun. I was like 10 years old at the time. I thought this was something fun to do. So I kind of just had the bug of automotive repair in me since way back yonder days and stuff. And it's something that with automotive, for me in particular, I'm a hands-on laboring type of person. With automotive repair, as long as you're good, you can get a job anywhere, any state, any town, anywhere that you're moving to. They're always looking for good mechanics. So that was something that I just had the passion for. It was like something I could do. I didn't have to be computer smart to run a computer, and working in air-conditioned places with suit and tie. No, I couldn't do that. It's tough for me right now wearing a button-up shirt. It's tough. A few years ago, I started wearing this, and it gained me a lot of respect from other business owners and from my own employees. Actually seeing me in a button-up shirt, they're like, "Where are you going? What are you doing? You got a wedding you're going to or something?" I'm like, no, this is my new casual attire. This is how a real proper business owner is supposed to look and function and conduct himself. So It's been a fun ride. I guess it's been about 17 years ago I bought an existing business. I was a fleet service provider for the local town here, taking care of their police cars and taking them in for maintenance and the town vehicles and such. And my job was just to take the car to the repair facility, watch them get it done, call for approval for windshield wiper blades or anything stupid. And back in the day, we had pagers, and the town wouldn't provide me with a phone, so we had pagers, and I had to borrow the repair facility's phone to call in and get approval. But I wanted to wrench. I wanted to go back to wrenching. So those people liked me and I liked their shop, and they wanted to retire. So we struck a deal, and I bought their existing business back in 2007, back in January of 2007. And I'd always been a technician. I always thought owners made lots of money. And so finally I could buy a business and be an owner myself. Wow. If you're a technician, don't think you're making money being an owner. I didn't start making money until a couple of years ago, making money as a business owner. And it's been a tough journey. I had plenty of technicians, and I made sure that all my technicians got paid and all my employees got paid. And I get the leftover crumbs. And so it wasn't until a couple of years ago when I got real coaching. And that's the big difference between being a technician shop owner and being a business owner. Is you need to get out of the mindset that you can go fix every car and you're better than any technician. And you need to learn how to run a business and operate a business, especially by the numbers, if you want to make any money and keep your wife happy. So, so to anybody that wants to open up their own shop, get business coaching, get some type of coaching of some sort, so you know how to run your business. You can fix the car, but if you don't know how to run a business and what the numbers mean, you're just going to struggle. So it's been a fun ride. 17 years now being a business owner, and 2 years ago I finally learned how to make a dime, and I'm into the expansion mode. It's really neat doing the fun expansion and stuff. So currently we're building 6 more bays onto my existing building, well, right next to my existing building. And this morning they're putting up the racks. The professionals know what they're doing. These rack installers, less than an hour to put up a rack and make it functional. A lot quicker than what I was doing 5 years ago when we moved into this current building. So yeah, it's just been a fun ride, and I don't know where to go from here.
That's a great kind of journey to explain. We'll definitely touch point a little bit more on kind of the business coaching, but I would love to hear kind of right now. I know you just talked about expansion, so I guess how many for the people that are listening, how many bays are you currently at, and then how many are you going thus to grow to?
Currently, we have 6 bays. We built this building. It's a block building. We built it 6 years ago. October will be 6 years that we moved into this new building that I built. And I thought I needed to have a second location, because the numbers we were doing at the time out of 6 bays, we were doing about 50 to 60,000 a month. I thought that was, all I'm going to get out of here, and I needed to go open a second location. With business coaching, they actually told me what my numbers are supposed to be, and they're telling me I'm supposed to do $2 million out of my little 6 bays. I'm like, no way. Last year we did 1.8. So I'm expanding. We need more room. I've got more customers, more business going on. So we're adding 6 more bays. So I'll have a total of 11. One of the existing bays that we have right now, we're going to turn that into what we call a command center for our service writers and my parts manager. So currently I've got 3 service writers in a 20 by 20 in customer waiting room and check-in area. And when you get 3 conversations going on the phone and a customer walks in, it's too muffled and crazy chaos going in there with the amount of cars that we're running through.
Yeah.
So that's why I've decided to dedicate one of my bays, convert it to an office, move the service writers out there so customers can have a little bit more room, a little bit more privacy, a little better communication is what we're looking for the customer experience. So yeah, we'll have 11 bays, hopefully in about 2 weeks. It's supposed to be operational on August 1st. We have our grand opening customer celebration appreciation day on July 30th. I don't have pavement down or concrete down on the outside. Half the building's painted. The racks are going in today. Air conditioning goes in next week, I hope. Garage doors go on next week, I hope. So we're really coming down to crunch time to have these extra bays going.
For sure.
But, I'm really excited, and it's going to be nice having 11 bays. It's taken about 8 months to find the technicians to fill the bays. I've been working on that since October. But that's something that's also nice, is not being under the gun. You don't have to hire the first person that walks in. We've actually been able to upgrade and find some really good techs over the last 8 months, and I don't see a reason why we can't hit my new numbers. We did 1.8 million last year. I want 3 million by the end of this year with the new bays up and operational.
Yep.
And next year, I really don't see a problem getting 5 million out of 11 bays. And again, this reflects back to coaching. I would have never thought $5 million. I never thought $1 million out of 6 bays.
Yeah.
Here it is. I'm gonna do it. We're gonna do it, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So don't do a second location until your first location or your first bays are maxed out. And if you can, just add on. Don't do a second physical location that you actually have to move to and go visit and stuff like that. It's actually been nice building my new bays 17 feet away from my existing building. So I'm one of those pain in the ass customers. I'm out there watching the contractor every day. Why are you here? When's this going to get done? So,
hey, it's a big project, and it's going to bring you a lot more revenue and like a more well-run business, even more so. So I don't see any problem with it.
Yeah, of course, as the customer side of things, you always hate those customers that call you every half hour. How's my car? Well, I'm out there physically doing that, smoking my cigarette, watching them. Okay, well, now what's going up? And this morning, I just decided to leave the rack installers alone. They've got it down to a science. I mean, 45 minutes, the first rack was up and they were running it. And now they're on to the third one. I think they're on the fourth one right now. They want to be done in the next 45 minutes and be out of there. It's like, wow, you guys know what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. But not to bring it back to business coaching. It kind of seems like it's a common theme there here that really shifted kind of the trajectory of your shop and kind of realizing the capacity, ability. And so I'm curious to know, what were kind of the big things right away where you're suddenly able to see how much your shop was suddenly possible that they could do?
That's something that's different out there too. There's lots of coaching companies. And when I first purchased the business back in 2007, I think it was 2008, I hooked up with my first coaching company. And I didn't know anything about business. And so I thought they were a good company, and they taught me a little bit about numbers and taught me about shop supplies. You want to make more money, you charge more shop supplies, you raise your labor rates. They didn't explain to me on the backside why you do those things, or what the potential of my shop was. So I stuck with them for a couple of years and got some training. It helped because I didn't have any business knowledge whatsoever. And you don't know what you don't know. So there are coaching companies out there. You just have to try them out, see what's good out there, and see what works and what clicks for you, and see if you can jive with something. Like I said, I ran them for about a year and a half. Thought I knew something, thought I knew how to run a business. And so I dropped them and tried doing it on my own for the next 10 years and muddled my way through. And that's where I didn't know what the capacity of my shop was. And one day my lead technician, I think he was a lead technician for me at that time, told me about a video on YouTube and check this other coaching company out. So I took a look at it, and it just clicked. The guy is an existing shop owner, and he tells you the story of how he struggled working out of a tobacco barn, and he worked it up to 5 or 6 stores, and then he was stolen from and lost a couple $1 million. And instead of filing bankruptcy, he fought his way through it and continued to grow and go. And his type and style of coaching just clicked with me. It made sense. It was a real person. Somebody that had done those credit card advanced loans and stuff to dig your way out of a hole and stuff. And I watched a few more of his videos, bought some videos, watched those for probably 6 months. And then I finally went to one of his big conferences that he invites the whole country to come to a conference and just check out his business, his coaching company. And it clicked. It just clicked for me, seeing all these other passionate shop owners. And it's really nice to get the coaching that I look for that clicks with me, is talking to other shop owners. And it's really strange. I mean, unless you have a really good friend that has a shop in town, he's not going to tell you all the secrets of what he did to be successful. He's going to make sure that you stay just 2 or 3 steps behind him so he gains and gets momentum. And so getting with this nationwide of other shop owners, it was really great. And to find out, my problem is not unique. My town is not unique. Any issue or troubles that I've had, I'm not in it alone. You just throw it out there and you're going to have a half a dozen, 2 dozen people reply back, oh yeah, we had that situation here and this is what we did to get out of it. So learning from other peers was huge, and it just connected with me. It's on my level of speaking and thinking. And so I've been with him now for a year and a half. Well, August next month will be 2 years that I've been with this coaching company. And it's just awesome. They're the ones that tell you what your shop capacity is. They tell you what your technicians should be turning. They help you out on what you should be paying them. And we all use the same standard of metrics nationwide so that we can compare ourselves to other shop owners. And so it keeps it a little bit more, I don't know, it just makes sense. I can compare my shop to one in Hawaii. And we know if we're paying our technicians too much, we know if we're paying parts too much. And that's just the standard industry out there that you can actually set standards to meet or exceed. And I'm just happy with this group. They'll let you run as fast as you want or as slow as you want.
Yeah.
And I think I'm in the top side of things because I've outgrown a lot of other shop owners that have joined up at the same time with me or have been in there longer. So the passion that you have to have for growing your business and learning all about your business and what it's all about and taking care of customers. Their motto is fix the owner, fix the shop. And that's exactly what a technician needs if he's going to be a shop owner. He needs to learn how to be an owner and how to treat customers right and treat your employees right. So it's very true. Fix the owner and you can fix the shop. So
that's
great coaching
awesome.
company that I'm with now.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, coaching is important in whatever business you're doing. I mean, it's crucial to have a guidepost in a sense to help make sure that you're steering in the right direction. I mean, as business owners, I mean, we can get overconfident, especially when things are going well. And I mean, we don't know it all. There's always something else that we can learn. So it's so important to have a coach, especially one that's successful, that has done it before and have multiple locations, things like that. So that's so big. But I know you mentioned that there's a kind of a standard rubric. And so is it like for 6 bays, your capacity wherever you are is $3 million, or like how is that sort of calculated? If you're able to share that a little bit.
Kind of like the standard industry is somewhere between $30,000 and $35,000 per rack.
Okay.
For each lift that you have in your shop. So if you just have a 2-bay shop, I mean, if you're doing 60,000 a month and better, you're doing great. There's people in this group that I'm with that are doing over 120,000 out of 2 bays. So that's some super technicians. But it's nice to have ground lines because when I first joined this company, if I was put up against this 2-bay shop doing $1 million, $1.2 million a year, I can't do that. And I've got 5 or 6 bays, what the heck? So it's nice to kind of have a set standard as to what you should be making, what you should be paying. And so first standard rule of thumb, a nice 30,000 a month, with inflation, I'm sure that's gonna be bumped up to about 35. Probably by the end of next year, it'll probably be 35 to 40,000 is what we're looking at of each bay, because we're also paying our technicians a lot more too. So it's nice to have that type of a standard. They also, talk to you about a standard income, the net bottom line. It's nice to have a shop if you're doing 20% net every month. That's a huge thing. Before I started, I was negative 1 to 3% every month, and that's not a good way to run a business.
No.
And another big thing that I learned was the cost of your overhead. Everything that you have to pay for to keep the doors on, the lights up, and stuff like that. I think one of the key things that I learned was outrun your overhead. And that was a huge thing for me because I thought as long as I was paying all my bills and my technicians were getting paid and the parts were getting paid, that was good. But that's why I was only netting 1%, 3%, if that. So, sorry.
No, you're totally fine.
They're not getting that hit. But no, there's just a lot of the standard metrics out there. Kind of keep your overhead at 40% or less. I've learned to give customers the best experience that they can get here in town. And that's something that shops need to do. We need to up our game.
In terms of a different customer experience and being the best in town, what is kind of your standard for that? What changed that?
Again, back to the customer experience, automotive shops have got that definition of being that old, dirty, greasy shop. We've got tires in the waiting room. We have strut displays and all kinds of automotive crap out there. Nowadays, a lot of guys aren't doing the repairs. It's the woman that's coming around with her child or her little kid doing the repairs on the cars. So you need to have a nice, clean, approachable waiting room that doesn't smell. No cigarettes on the counter. You can't have that, burnt coffee smell going on in there. Clean floors, clean restroom. You have to give that customer that better experience. Just like nowadays, we're all accepting that we have to pay more, but we want to have a good experience. We want to enjoy that food, that meal, that waitress that just served us and stuff. So that's the same thing in the automotive field. We need to clean up our act. We need to look better, present ourselves better, be nice and clean. My front office staff is all in polo shirts or dresses or something. I've got male and female people working downstairs with my customers. The service writers, they all have different personalities. So they're all like cats, and so are the customers. Some of them gravitate towards the older people. Some of the old guys like talking to the girl and such and stuff. So I've got 3 different personalities down there to meet the needs of my customers that come in.
Mhm.
And also just being honest with them. I mean, get the car in, check it out, go after their main complaint. Don't scare them off. Your struts are blowing, your belt's shot. They don't want to hear that terminology anymore. Nowadays, the times have advanced so much, we have digital video inspection. So I like to invite them out to the shop to take a look at their car while it's here, and show them personally what's going on. But if they're not here and they're too busy running errands and stuff, we can send them a text video of what we see. And it's nice for them to actually see that, because then they could ask their coworker, hey, does this look real? Do I really need this? And they can make the judgment call and respond back, almost instantly.
Mhm.
Everybody looks at their phone for text messaging and stuff.
Yep.
So texting, I see, has been a huge plus for us, and for this industry. And we're just advancing the levels. We also, once we give the customer a quote, we stick to it. Whether we're right or wrong, 98% of the time we're correct. But if we're in there and we break something else or we see something else, I'm going to stick with my quote, and the shop is going to eat that extra, $20 radiator hose or whatever we broke along the way.
Mhm.
That's something that we all hate, and so do the customers, and that's the automotive experience. We need to justify it and make it better. If we tell somebody it's going to be $1,000 to fix something, you better stick at that $1,000. Don't, when they come in, the customer doesn't want to pay $1,123. Oh, we didn't quote you tax.
Yeah.
Include everything all in one price, so there's no extra surprise. Don't charge the extra 3% if they use their credit card. Be more accommodating to that customer, because money's more valuable. And if you give them a great experience, even though you're a little bit higher than anybody else, they know you're going to stand behind it and take care of them. So some of the things we've instilled is we have loaner cars,
Mhm.
free loaner cars that we give the customers. If it's going to, they're here for a quick oil change and we find something wrong, a lot of customers, well, I'll have to reschedule for that. Instead, here's a set of keys to a car, take the Focus, we'll give you a call this afternoon whenever we're done with it. And they really appreciate that.
Yeah.
We also have a quality control agent that's on site. So whatever my technician gets done with the car and they think it's done and they've test driven it, I give it to my quality control person, and he plays the part of the customer. He'll go out there, make sure there's no fingerprints on the car. He cleans the windshield. He shop vacuums the front floor mats, make sure there's no greasy paw prints. We take out the paper floor mat that we use, the seat covers. He'll take it for a test drive and make sure that the customer's complaint is handled and that it's not squeaking anymore or it's not rattling, the brakes are smooth, whatever the customer had, he'll be the customer for us. And it's very helpful, because my quality control guy, I don't know if this is good or bad, but my quality control guy catches about 20 to 30 things a week. We run, I think, 75 cars a week. No, we're running close to 100 cars a week now. So he'll catch 30% of issues that we have on these cars, or he'll catch, these cars have 30% issues, whatever it is.
Yep.
Of just fingerprints, or they've got grease on the steering wheel. They didn't put the engine cover back on underneath the hood. So it's nice having him, that we pay him to catch the issues before the customer does.
Mhm.
And that makes the customer experience a lot better too, because sometimes the customer will be back here waiting and we'll tell them it's in the quality control department. They're like, what do you mean? Well, he's out there cleaning the windshield, making sure everything's good and clean. He turns it around, he parks it, so they just have to put it in drive and drive forward.
Mhm.
And the customers really like that. They're like, wow, this is really cool. You guys take care of us. So that's just another experience we try to give the customer and make them happy and improve their experience so that they can have a better look at the automotive field. We're not those grease monkeys running around with rags in our back pockets and the old goober from Gomer Pyle days and stuff like that. So we need to improve our customer service across the industry. And that's something that we feel has helped us out a lot and has helped us grow a lot. I see other shops in my neighborhood, they've got less cars, and I've got at least 40 cars on my lot at all times, with at least half of them waiting to be worked on. So
Yeah.
that was another reason why 6 more bays, 4 more technicians. I need to get these cars off my lot.
Yeah, for sure. But I love the focus on the little things. I think that extra step that you take, where it's almost as if you're pre-qualifying a question. Like it would be something that comes up already, like, and you're already answering someone's question before they need to ask, and now they don't even need to ask. It's not something they even notice. And
Right.
now at times those things can get unrewarded because now they just didn't even realize you needed to fix something. But in my opinion, I'd rather not have the question or the mistake that someone finds after the fact, which is the customer, and then they need to bring it back up, and it can just kind of create this snowball effect that is obviously not good. It's rolling downhill rather than it going the other way. And so that's where I think I love the focus there. That absolutely makes a world of a difference. So
it's much cheaper to keep a customer than it is to go advertise and find a new customer.
Absolutely.
And we've had that experience a couple of times where we've had a couple of customers that didn't like our price, so they went elsewhere. And after a couple of oil changes, they come back into our radar and they schedule appointments. Like, and I get back to talking to them. It's like, hey, I saw you got a different oil change sticker in the window. You know, what happened? Did we just couldn't get you in fast enough? And like, well, you are like $10 higher, but you don't leave greasy footprints all over my car. And you guys put the oil cap back on, not like the last place that had to steam clean my whole engine and my driveway's all oily and stuff like that. So they do. The customers will pay that little extra if they know that they don't have any concerns or problems afterwards. Yep. And you can build up a lot of trust with your customers to where they're just key droppers. They'll drop the keys on the counter, call me when it's done, or shoot me an estimate, send me pictures. And it's nice having family and customers like that. We now have 3 generations of customers, a few customers that they started off as grandparents when I first took over the business back in 2007. Their kids finally started driving, so they come to us. Now their kids have had kids, so now they're grandkids. And so it's nice having 3 generations of people in a small town of 40,000 people. Word of mouth gets around fast. So do a good job, be honest, and you don't have to duck them in the supermarkets. You know, I love seeing customers in the supermarket. I'm just terrible with names. So I'll say, hey, John, my car's doing great. Which car was it? Oh, yeah, now I know who you are. Yeah, we did that one. It's terrible. I learned the cars before I learned the customers' names, but that's something that my service writers, they're way better than me with names. They know that customer out in the parking lot, and they're already asking, how was your vacation? And I didn't know they were on vacation, but the customers love it. You know, you get to spend time with them and learn about them, and they become part of the family. So it's all part of the expansion and growth portion of it. So I guess that kind of leads you back to being the owner again. You can't be that technician. You have to make sure you have the right people in place doing the right thing all the time. So and that's where getting coaching or business knowledge definitely helps out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's also a great point in terms of bringing value and just in the small little things where, again, yes, your price is more expensive than others, but there's so many different ways where you're able to increase the value that people feel, where price becomes obsolete. You do not want to be a shop that is racing to the bottom. Like there's a floor there, but if you go in the other direction where things increase, there isn't a limit. And obviously you can't be absolutely way higher than everyone else. But again, if you're finding ways to bring value to people where they're ecstatic with how their car ends up after they bring it to you. I mean, for me as a general consumer, that's all I would care about. It's just like my car is fixed and it feels like it's new again in a sense, because just everything's clean in there and I'm happy. So absolutely I'm coming again, and I'm going to tell everybody else about it too if they have a question. And so I think naturally, I think right on the right course. And now to go to, I guess, a slightly different topic, but you touched on this a while ago in the very beginning, and you mentioned how you started looking for techs back in October, and but you kind of had a long window to be able to find them, and you allowed you to be patient around that. But I'm curious, and I know right now there's so many owners that are like, how do you even find a tech to show up? And so I would love to hear your process of finding a tech and being able to be patient with that process and bringing the right person in.
Recruiting, that's something you have to do all year long, all the time. And you have to try different mediums. We used to do Craigslist, then we tried Indeed, we tried ZipRecruiter. You're not going to get the same result from all and each of those. They all target different types of people. And I will run 2 to 3 different ads on a weekly basis at the same place. Craigslist, I'll run 3 different ads, and they're all addressed differently. One headline will be, make 6 figures a year. Another one will be missing family quality time, and then another one, entry level or something like that. But you have to have different titles because some people are just looking to make all the money in the world. And so they're going to look for something that, throws out big money. There's other guys that are my age and right around my age. They want to start spending time with their family. So they're looking for a 4 or 5 day work week. They're looking for less chaos and stuff. So I'll run three ads a week, all the time in different medias, different outlooks. Facebook has actually worked it out a couple of times, and I found a couple of guys there on Facebook. So there's a lot of different ways to reach out, but you really have to be recruiting all the time, not just when you need the technician. And even though you're not hiring, you interview everybody. It helps you as an owner practice your interviewing skills. So when that good ATech does come along, you're already you've practiced and you have that professional outlook and that professional set of questions to ask that guy. And so interview everybody, whether they, came from Taco Bell, working at a fast food place. I'll interview them all. And it's good practice for us when it came to hiring them. Like we started this campaign back in October for my new shop that was going to open in August. You have to reach out to those technicians too. After you've interviewed them, you tell them we're not hiring right now, but we are building this new shop. And, if you're still interested in August, we'd like to reach out to you. So what I've done is we have them in our phone, and my manager has a spreadsheet, all the different technicians that we liked, and we'll contact them every 4 to 6 weeks. We'll shoot them a text just to see what they're looking at and how their shop is doing that they're currently at stuff. During the interview process, we like to find out what their pain is. They hate working 12-hour days, or the owner's a jerk and stuff. We take notes of that so that whenever we text them, hey, is your boss still a jerk?
Yeah.
Our building is underway now, so are you still interested? And we played with them for, every 4 to 6 weeks just to touch base with them. And the guys that we were serious about, we'll take them out to lunch, maybe every other month, just to touch base and see them, let them know what we're like. One of the guys that I hired actually added a new spin to my stuff. I think it was in November for Thanksgiving. He was a guy we interviewed and we were interested in him. And he actually sent us a text saying Happy Thanksgiving. And he doesn't work for us, and we didn't hire him at that time, because I didn't have a spot for him. So that was something that was neat that we added on down the road, that we, to these technicians or service writers that we were interested in, reach out to them on Valentine's Day, and say, hey, hopefully you're having a good Valentine's dinner, and 4th of July, we told them we were hoping that they were having a good 4th and be safe. And it shows that you care. It shows that you care and you're interested, and you're not just going to treat the technician like a piece of machinery out in the shop. It shows that you care, and you really do have to care for your people. That was something that I did. Is in October of last year, we added health benefits to our package, and then in December we added a retirement package. And these are all things that technicians or service writers, quality control people, they're all looking for that. They're looking for that employer that cares and actually, wants to treat them with respect and dignity. And in return, they treat you back just as well too. So that's something for recruiting. You recruit all year long, whether you need them or not. Practice your interviewing skills. The key players, put them in your phone or on a spreadsheet and keep in contact with them. There's other shops that'll bug them once a week or every other week. I don't want to be that way. I don't want to be that. So I placed it 4 to 6 weeks. That's enough just to remind them, oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, that was a pretty cool guy, type situation. So keep in contact with the real ones that you like, and that word of mouth will actually get around, because while they're working at another shop and you send them a text, happy 4th of July, like, that dude over at Autoworks, he sent me a text and he's talking to his, sidekick that he's working side by side with. And like, yeah, I've heard they're pretty decent. So I am building a following, and you work on that bench. I now have a bench that I've got all my people hired for the new building. 2 of them just started today. 3 will start in another 2 weeks when the building's actually open. But I have a bench now of 5 or 6 other service writers and technicians that want to come on board if there's an opening. So it's nice to always be recruiting in different aspects. You got to change your ad up, ask for different, ads. My financial advisor helped me out with one of my ads. He opened up the newspaper, which he's an old guy, so he actually has a newspaper that he carries with him, and brought that in. And we looked at the professional ads that were in there for the professional businesses. And so you want to make an ad look like a professional one. You list what you're looking for, what your benefits are, what your skills needed are, in short and sweet and cut and dry to build a professional ad. And then you have to build a goofy ad. I did another goofy ad where, we're having a barbecue this Friday. Does this happen at your shop? Or are you sick and tired of being chewed out? Well, that doesn't happen at my shop. And, find their pains. But during that interview process, find out their pains. So when you're texting them, you can always twist a little bit.
Yeah. No, I love it. So, and I think that brings up a great point in terms of what sort of questions are you asking them to like kind of help that come to. So sometimes it's in interviews, and I know I've done quite a few. It gets tricky sometimes getting to kind of the root of that person. And so, and like really, I mean, you never truly know. I mean, until like they start working and then they're here, but you have to do your best to get as close as you can in order to feel like, yes, this is someone I can trust. So what sort of questions are you asking to kind of get those answers from them?
I don't have the sheet in front of me right now. That's my cheat sheet. But
okay.
We like to ask them, what do they like to do in their free time? We kind of open up the interview process, just finding out about them, what they like to do with their free time, what their kids are doing, what their family life's all about. We like to soften them up just so that they'll relax and breathe, because you're always tense going into an interview.
Absolutely.
And then we ask them, what was one of your stressful situations? What stressed you out at work one day? What was the event? And sometimes they'll tell us, it was a broken bolt, that they just couldn't do on this exhaust manifold or something like that. And we ask them, how did you accomplish it? What was the good result of it? And then we'll ask them, what are they looking for in a shop? And what are they looking for with coworkers? So we try to find out a lot about them and what makes them tick. And it just softens the interview up a little bit. Then towards the end, we'll get into throwing them questions and little tests. If they think that they're an A-Tech, we give them a sheet, and it has descriptions of what an A-Tech is. We have an A-Tech level 1, level 2, level 3. Then we have a B-Tech 1, 2, and 3, and a C-Tech. And so we let them rank themselves as to what they think they are. And according to that, we have little tests that we'll do with them, just deal with a test light and a light bulb, and throw them a quick little test and see how they can accomplish that. If they think they're a super tech, we'll throw some codes at them and, ask them about lean codes and see what direction they go in, verbally. And we'll know for sure if they actually are what they are, or what they think they are. If they're not what they think they are, we also let them know that according to this sheet is how I'm going to pay you. And this is the type of work I'm going to be expecting out of you. So, you think you're the top of the line tech, I could throw anything at you. You better handle it. If you say you're a C-Tech, pay is going to be a lot less, but we're not going to expect that much out of you. So I kind of warn them, underrank yourself, so we'll be surprised. Don't overrank yourself and make us depressed.
Yeah.
I think that also lets them know that we're being honest with each other. I'll pay you what you're worth, whatever you want. I'll pay you. You want $50, $60 a flat rate hour? Fine. But you better be able to do this type of work. And if you're an entry-level person, we had one, she thought she was an A-Tech. She ranked herself as an A-Tech. But she couldn't reset the oil change light. And she didn't know how to do that. It's like, come on, everybody runs around with smartphones. You Google it real quick. It's nice to be able to catch them on the spot. But I like to start off the interview process with the easygoing questions, just to break them and see what they're like, get them relaxed and comfortable, so they open up and they tell you what kind of family they are, and what their folks were like, what their background was. So
I love that. And then in terms of like what do you see as kind of the most valuable characteristic of a really valuable employee? Now that you've been through a lot of interviews, you've been able to hire some, obviously some work out, some don't, but the ones that work out, I mean, what have you noticed is kind of that main characteristic, or maybe a few characteristics that have like really set themselves apart?
The main one that we really, really like is honesty.
Mm.
I mean, you're going to break apart, you misdiag something, just be honest. Let us know. We'll take care of it with the customer. We'll take care of it with you. You know, being honest is number one thing. I want to be able to trust my technicians, trust my employees, and I've got their back. If anything goes wrong, if they get accused of anything, I've got their back. I'm going to be there to defend them to the end, but they better be honest. So honesty is number one with me. If they're honest, that goes a long way in the shop, because that also doesn't let them harbor any regrets or any bad feelings in the shop.
Yeah.
Because if they're hiding something and don't want to get caught, and they've got 3 spark plugs in the bottom drawer of their toolbox, they don't want anybody borrowing tools because they're going to get found out. So I like everybody just to be honest and upfront. That's our number one thing. And then ask questions. That's something that I love. I love asking questions. I want to be the dumbest person in my building. I want everybody else to be smarter than me. And if they ask questions, you get 3 or 4 good technicians out there. Somebody gets stumped, we have all the resources that they could possibly want. We've got the All Data, the Identifix, the Mitchell, the ProDemand. There's, I don't know, 7 different information sources out there. But if they can ask the guy in the next bay next to them, you know, hey, I'm doing this. Can you give me a hand, figure this out? It's nice, it's quicker, it's faster, and you're building camaraderie between your other technicians. And that's what we try to do, is we try to have a good family atmosphere here. So everybody jokes around. We've got nicknames for everybody. Some of the nicknames, you know, I didn't know some of the nicknames. You know, but no, his name is Graham, so that's why we call him Cracker. So it's like, okay. But no, it's nice just to be fun, and everybody works well together and as a team. And so that's my other thing, is they need to be honest. They need to be a team player, and just ask questions. Just be honest, ask questions, and buy into my vision. That's something that I also try to do with my technicians, my employees. Tell them where I'm going, what I want to do, and get them to focus on that too. Because if they see that we're going to build a second location, you know, or do another building, wow, cool. Now I get to move into the air conditioned shop, because the new one gets air conditioning. My existing one just has swamp coolers. So we've got them playing and battling for the good shop, you know.
Gotcha. No,
it's nice having the teamwork and stuff together. So
yeah, I love what you created, and it feels like, I don't see why the bench wouldn't be super long, because people are hearing about kind of the culture you created and the vision. I love that you mentioned vision, because I think a lot of owners don't ever think about why they're doing what they're doing. They just like, oh, I was a business owner just because I thought it was the thing to do, or I was tired of being the tech, so I wanted to be the owner. But they didn't really have a why. That's not a real reason why they want to do something. And so I guess if you wouldn't mind sharing, what is your why? What is your vision for your shop, for your business?
Just to give the best customer experience. That's the number one thing, is we want to treat everybody like our mom and our grandma. That's why I bought a business, and that's why I got into business, is I want to treat every customer like my mom and my grandma. You know, grandma's on a fixed income. She's just going to church, take care of her car, keep it going. Mom, she's running the kids to school, to the ball games and stuff like that. She's better have something reliable, but you also better be good and honest and fair with her, because she's going to be at the hairdresser's telling people while she's getting her nails done, you know, this place ripped me off type thing. So that's something we're just trying to do, the best customer experience. I'm trying to pay the guys the most in town. I want them to make the most money in town. I want them to be the envy of the other shops. And so I'll pay them what they're worth, what they expect to get paid. And I want to give them all the benefits. I want them to feel positive about working automotive field. Back when I was growing up, nobody retired from the automotive field. So now that they've got a 401k plan, they can start working on a retirement. That's kind of something nice for us mechanics. We break our back physically. We have surgeries. We have rotators, cuff surgery and stuff, and we're disabled. So with that, I also give them the opportunity to advance in my business. If you get injured on the job, if I have an opening, we created an opening for a position for one of my guys that had a heart attack, and he was out for 6 weeks, and I paid him his full wages the whole time that he was out. And then we started advertising for a mechanic, and he was bummed out. He sent a tow truck over, and he said, I guess I'm being fired. No, we're creating a new position for you. You're going to be our shop foreman. He was like, holy shit. So he was really ecstatic about that we made a position for him since he was such a great anchor. And he became the shop foreman that helped dispatch and keep things going. And we still brought in another technician, and he really appreciated that. And his wife was just super appreciative that, we kept making his wages for him and stuff. So he was really happy about that. Also, if you get injured and you got to become a service writer, we can train you to be a service writer or a parts manager. We'll find a position for you to advance in this company. And with that, I want to open up another location in 2024. I want to open up a diesel shop. So any of my existing people that are here that want to advance to being a service writer or store manager, that's fine with me. We'll train them for that. So I want to show them that there's advancement, opportunities for advancement, that there is retirement. You can have health benefits, keep yourself healthy and keep prepared. My vision, I really haven't gone out too far beyond the diesel shop. The diesel shop will be location number 2, and that's in 2 years. And then maybe 3 more shops after that. I'm not quite sure exactly how many I want to go with. And I'm just surprised. I never thought I'd do $1 million out of 6 bays. And when that happened, to do 2 million, almost 2 million the next year and 3 million this year, I think I can do 5 million out of my 11 bays next year. It's a small town. People actually spend $5 million in automotive repair. I never knew that there was that kind of money in automotive repair and stuff. So, and there's still 40 other shops in town.
Yep.
And it's nice that I can capture that large of a market. And so, I don't know, is there 7 million out of this 11 bays down the road? I don't know how far I can go. So it's fun just to keep pushing that goalpost too. That's something with your vision is, your vision can't be set in stone. It has to be movable and changeable. So that's why I just keep pushing it. When I'm about to reach it, I make sure I kick it down the road further. There's something else to run and chase. So my vision is always changing, but I want happy employees. I want happy customers. And with that, my wife is happy because she gets to play grandma all the time. So that's a huge thing for her for 5 years, is to be full-time grandma and spoil the heck out of kids. And so I'm learning to be a grandpa on weekends.
Yep.
I don't know if my vision is actually to sit at home. I don't know what I would do yet. I'm just having too much fun learning how to run a business, being profitable, and having a great culture and happy employees. So my vision is always changing, but it's for the good. And I think everybody's on board with it.
It sounds like it. And I love what you've been able to share with us today. So I really appreciate your time, John. And so kind of as one last kind of parting question is just if you had one piece of advice to give any shop owner out there, I mean, I believe I know the answer, but what would that piece of advice be?
Number 1, get coaching so you can learn how to run a business.
Yep.
And as you get comfortable with that, hire professionals to do things. You can't be the jack of all trades. You can't do it all. So hire the right people to install racks, hire the right people to do your social media marketing, hire the right coach so you can learn. You just can't do it all. So do what you do best and get coaching for the rest. So
I love that. Well, again, thank you so much, John. Really appreciate your time today. For those of you who are still with us till the end, thank you so much for watching this interview. Make sure you subscribe to our channel here so you don't miss any other webinars or podcasts or anything else that we shoot out there. But again, thank you all, and we'll see you guys next time.
Great. Thanks, Kelsey. Thanks, everybody.